Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. There is a very small thing that I want to talk about in this video, yet if you hear about it, it's a quite big thing. I initially thought of writing this because I think when I write, I make myself more clearer, because when you write and then publish something, or put it out, you review it and think about it. But like these kind of videos, in this you just talk and talk and talk, maybe you slip off topic, and that is why I didn't thought of making this video. But since there is no time right now, in which like I don't have that time to write and then review it and then correct the mistakes and everything. I don't have that, so I'll just put this out in this video. So the thing that we are going to be talking about in this video is Islam, obviously, but it's not like the Islam. It's about a pattern that I have noticed, and that pattern is what I call the ladder model. And what is this ladder model? I am going to tell you in this video. Okay, so Muslims believe in what? If a Muslim is asked, or a proper Muslim, ideally when you ask a Muslim, what do you believe in an ideal case, he should say, I believe in my religion. And if you ask him, further scrutinize him and ask him, what do you mean by you believing in your religion? Can you please elaborate? He should say, I believe in what was revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I believe the best way to live is the way of the righteous, and the most righteous person is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And to know that way of the most righteous, of the chosen one sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we go to the most earliest of Muslims, and then he'll say that we come to know that Prophet told us from an authentic narration that follow the first 3 generations. So that is what I follow, and we have a lot of things in Islam. There is one thing that relates with the tafsir, that is the explanation of the Quran in rough terms. Then it comes about the hadith, that is the sayings and the life of the Prophet, doings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as reported by the people who were with him and then transmitted by the people after them. Okay, so this is the second profession in Islam, and the experts of this profession are called the muhaddis. The experts in the Quranic profession are called mufassirin. And then when you want to know what does Quran and Sunnah, that is the life of the Prophet, the way of the Prophet, preach, and to put it in a better way, what does the way of the chosen one, or what is the way of the chosen one? What is the guidance? What are the particular rulings or the particular ways the chosen one, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, lived? And this is derived from Quran and Sunnah, and by looking at the practice of the people after them. And this is not the work of mufassirin, that is the Quran, the people who do tafsir of Quran. This is not their work. This is not the work of muhaddisin, the people who write hadiths, the people who compile hadiths, the people who know about hadiths, the people who are experts in hadiths. This is the work of faqih, fuqaha in plural, the jurists. And there are the most earliest 4 schools of thought in this jurists kind of thing, in the field of these jurists, and these school of thoughts, as we all know, as the 4 fiqhs, and these are Hanafi, Shafi'i, Maliki and Hanbali. These schools were founded. These are not just based on one person. These are schools of thought founded by 4 founders: Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. These are the 4 fuqaha in Islam. So why am I telling you this? So ideally, a Muslim should say this is Islam, if he has knowledge, and this is the traditional Islam. Now, if a person wants to deviate you, or let's say in a very clear way, the state machinery, if Satan wants to deviate you, he'll not say to you on the very first day, what is this Quran and Sunnah? I want to live my life my own way. This is not the way Satan works. If you are on this path, first the plan of Satan, and this is implemented in the modern world mostly through preachers, through the people who you think are the Islamic scholars. And how do they deviate you or get you farther and farther from the right path that I described already? You are on a ladder wherever you are. So if you have this understanding of Islam, this is like on the very top of the ladder in terms of just the understanding. I'm not talking about how good of a Muslim you are. So you're on the top of the ladder. Okay. Now they cannot just make you leave Islam, make you jump from this big ladder. They'll try to put you make you come down little by little, and this is the way they. I have noticed this pattern that there are preachers. First, they will disconnect you from the 4 fuqaha, the 4 jurists, the 4 schools of thought in Islam: the Hanafi, Shafi, Maliki, and Hanbali. After that, they'll tell you, we don't follow these jurists, we don't follow these 4 schools of thought, we just follow Quran and Sunnah. As if the people who were following these 4 schools of thought, they were not just following Quran and Sunnah, they were following a particular person or particular group of persons. They were also following Quran and Sunnah by the understanding of the most prominent jurists, by the understanding of the most prominent scholars of Islam, which are divided into 4 schools of thought. Their rulings are based on different principles, and these, as I already mentioned, Hanafi, Shafi, Maliki, and Hanbali. Now they say to you, no, we don't follow these 4 schools of thought, we just follow Quran and Sunnah. Very attractive label. And then you fall into this label and you say, I am not this follower of, I don't follow any scholar, I don't listen to any scholar, I just listen to Quran and Sunnah. And then you listen to Quran and Sunnah through this and this scholar of 18th century, 19th century. So this is the first step you take away from Islam. You go down the ladder. Then they start to create more and more problems for you. They say, you know what? You should not follow one scholar. You just follow the Quran and Sunnah. Then you say, what do? Sometimes you feel like praying 3 rakats of witr at the night. Okay, the witr prayer, the night prayer. You say, okay, I think it's the right opinion of Hanafi, so I'm going to follow that one. Okay. A person says to you online that you can pray 1, 3, 5, 7. So first day you're saying like, okay, I understand that, I just will follow the 3 rakat opinion because the Hanafi fiqh, the school of thought, is very prominent, so I'm just going to follow that, especially if you're in the subcontinent. The next day you feel like, oh, I don't feel like praying 3, I'm very tired, Then you pray 1. Then this is the second step on this ladder. You don't listen to one school of thought, you listen to everybody, and while listening to everybody, you do not see it initially. You're actually listening to your nafs, which is making you choose from this everybody depending on convenience. So you choose convenience over objectivity, or to put it in a better way, you choose convenience over following Allah and His Prophet. Then this all feels very burdenous. Then you listen to next group of scholars who are going to say to you, You know what this witr is after tahajjud? You don't even have to pray this witr. We don't have to even pray the witr salah. It's after tahajjud. Listen to me, brother. Pray after, if you're praying tahajjud, then you pray this witr. Otherwise, no. Then you leave this witr. Or in other words, you scrutinize the very people that you should follow. That is the first 3 generations. You scrutinize them. Because of how nicely and how strong their arguments seem, that hadiths were. Then this is the third step. The fourth step is you listen to some other scholars, and they say, hadiths were written 200 years after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were compiled 200 years after Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who knows how many problems would have occurred with them. Look at this, how much difference of opinion existed among the scholars of these earlier 3 generations. Then you say, it's not clear. I don't feel like doing this. There's so much difference of opinion. Who is right? I don't know. Then you say, I'll accept some hadiths which are very sahih, and I'll not accept like all of these hadiths. There is problem even with some sahih hadiths. See, this Sheikh Al-Albani, Sheikh this and Sheikh this and Sheikh that. See, this Sheikh said that this hadith, this sahih hadith, as mentioned in Bukhari, the most authentic book of Islam for hadiths, it isn't actually sahih according to him. So why just believe in hadiths?